And a stark warning for President Obama and Democrats. Why Trey Gowdy says they will rue the day they allow the White House to, quote, weaken the rule of law. Trey Gowdy is live next on that.
He can veto legislation for any reason or no reason. He can fail to defend the constitutionality of a law. He has the power of pardon. He has a lot of power, Mr. Chairman. But what he cannot do is make law by himself. You may benefit from the president's failure to enforce the law today, but I'll make you this promise. There will come a day where you will cry out for the enforcement of the law. There will come a day where you long for the law to be the foundation of this republic. So you be careful what you do with the law today, because if you weaken it today, you weaken it forever.
Republican Congressman Trey Gowdy warning Democrats of the dangers of the president's unilateral amnesty action. This with a shutdown in funding for the Department of Homeland Security just about a day away. Trey Gowdy is my guest now from Washington. Sir, good morning and welcome back here to America's Newsroom. I got a lot to go through in 3 minutes, okay?
Yes, sir.
What did you mean when you said there will come a day when you long for the law? What's that about?
Well, I warn people of that, not just in the immigration context. The rule of law is the greatest equalizing, unifying force we have in our culture. And when you begin to play political games with it, you may benefit today. Tomorrow, you will beg to have the law enforced. So just be careful what you do with it today.
On immigration, here's what the president says. He says, I'm not including everyone in my order. I'm making families a priority. Why is that illegal?
Well, he doesn't get to set the priorities, and that is a gross overuse of prosecutorial discretion. Furthermore, Bill, he's not just not deporting folks, he's also conferring benefits. And there is no legal theory upon which he has the power to confer benefits that Congress has not conferred. Now, his policy, lots of people agree with his policy. We just don't agree with the way he's done it. But that's a big distinction.
All right. He says if he included everyone, that would be wrong. And that's why he is not including everyone.
Well, someone should ask him why. If you can do 4 million, can you do 8 million? And if you can do 8 million, can you do 11 million? And if not, why not? Ask him. He's a former con law professor. Ask him to explain why 4 million's okay, but 4.5 million isn't.
On November 23rd of last year, 2014, he said he has, quote, the legal authority to try to make the system better. A few days before that, on December 20th last year, he said his actions are the same that has been taken by Republican and Democratic presidents before me, making our system more fair and more just. Is he right on that point?
He's a little bit right. Republican presidents have also, in my judgment, exceeded their constitutional boundaries. But, Bill, that doesn't make it right. That just means both parties have been wrong. I wasn't in Congress when Republican presidents were in power. I'd like to think someone would stand up to their own party and say, Mr. President, you can't do this. But the fact that other people did the wrong thing doesn't give him a license to do it.
Last night he was talking and encouraging people to gather up their papers, in his words, and make sure that you're ready to go when the legal issues are sorted out. Does he win on this legally or not, do you think?
Well, the only court of record has said that it was an extra constitutional act. It'll go to the Fifth Circuit. I don't know whether or not he's going to ultimately prevail or not. I just know as the law exists today, Bill, he can't do what he did. And 22 separate times he said he couldn't do what he just did. So I agree with the 22 times the president said it and the court in Texas.
Ultimately, though, again, does he win or not legally?
It depends on who's on the Supreme Court by the time that happens. I mean, I think right now it would be a 4 to 1 opinion if it made it to the Supreme Court.
Interesting. That's kind of what he said last night. He told that crowd in Florida, he said, I have to deal with the judges who may not have been appointed by me, but have a different reading of the law. So is it just a case of which court hears it ultimately and whether or not those judges feel the same way? I mean, is that what it happened? Is that how our legal system works now?
You would hope it's not, but if you look, look at the media reports on any judge, Bill. They always like to say what president put them on the bench as if that impacts their judicial philosophy. The reason you give federal judges a lifetime job is so they don't have to worry about politics. But Yeah, I mean, Sotomayor and Kagan are probably going to vote with President Obama. Scalia and Alito probably will not. You don't have to be a court watcher to predict that.
Yeah.
The ones in the middle, we don't know.
Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir.
And thank you for your candor. Trey Gowdy,
Yes, sir.
Republican from South Carolina. Martha.